Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's well. You might have just heard chapter 17. I'm going on to chapter 18. There is something I need to tell you, Lily says on Monday. Actually, there's two things. We are on the bus. The heat of Saturday fell hung over into a deep humidity that lasted all day on Sunday and has finally collapsed into rain this morning. Thick, warm splashes are assaulting the window pane. I'm still feeling groggy, not much in the mood for chatting, and I don't know if I have the patience for one of Lily's obtuse declarations. I start flipping through my homework journal, making sure I have done that I have the right books for today. Go for it, I say, and the cards fall out of my journal. The chariot. The air around you isn't waving anymore. I peer at the card. I don't look like it's. It doesn't look like it's from a deck that I own. But at this stage, Fiona, Lily, and I have so many that they sometimes get jumbled up. What? The air around people goes all wavy. Lily continues. Wavy like how people are when you are looking at them through a fire. When their sparks are high, it's almost like they are a blur. A blur? She nods eagerly, so it's hard to tell people apart. Sometimes you've barely, uh, you are barely wavy at all. And Fiona? Oh, she is the waviest, Lily smiles. But I always know it's Fiona. And am I wavy usually? Yes, and not just wavy. Yours has little bits of colour in it, like yellow and green. I'm dumbfounded. It, it's it has never occurred to me that Lily might see things differently, that way I do, with the lights. I had assumed her power was pretty one-dimensional. She saw things, she sparked them. She never mentioned the electricity in other people's before. But it's not there today. It's been fading for a little while, but it's almost gone today. The bus jutters forward, and an announcement comes over the speaker that we will wait here for a few minutes while there is a change of driver. I start examining the chariot again. The two fierce looking horses pulling a man to his destination. The longer I look at the card, the stranger I feel about it. The stranger I feel about it. A sense that I put it in my homework journal to remind me of something, but I don't know what that something is. Ah, if perhaps a déjà vu is a feeling like you've lived through a moment before, then this is the double déjà vu. Like this particular chariot has come up many times and will keep coming up forever. What's the second thing? The second thing is that the man who followed me is back. Back. Back where? Well, here on this bus. I peer around. There are lots of men on the bus. Who? At the back of the bus. He's wearing a grey shirt. I put my phone on portrait mode and we pretend to take selfies. Craning my phone over our heads like we are trying to look big-eyed when in fact I'm peering at the back of the bus. I snap a photo. Or some photos rather. I think there were some cute ones there, I say loudly. I start flipping through my camera roll and see him. He's not much older than us, and he's dressed like he's about to start a day's work experience at his dad's office. A grey flannel shirt, black trousers, darkish hair. I zoom in. He has tired. He has tired. Far-set eyes that pop out slightly, like a frog's, and a top lip. And a top lip so thin it's almost non-existent. And you say you've seen him before? I say, a little doubtful. It's very possible he's just on the same route as Lily, that he's followed you. So, in other words, he's on the same route, and that's why it seems that he's following her. Well, I think it's one of the cobs. Yes, she says, with certainty. He always keeps a distance. He follows me when I go to music lessons. He stops when you start taking the bus with him. But now he's back. There's a light jingle of change, and I look up to see that the river has arrived. He's a big man. Who's that then? Oh, sorry. I look up to see that the driver has arrived. He's a big man and takes a few moments to look to lock the change dispenser onto the ticket machine. His keys fall to the ground. He bends down to pick them up, and our eyes meet. From the depth of my groggy, stuffed nose, hot-eyed illness, I feel the zing of something sharp, some kind of awareness that begins in my feet and is trying to push its way up to my brain, but keeps getting diluted on the way. Something that is trying to yell danger. Lily, whisper. I whisper. We have to get off. Why? Why? I don't know. We just do. The bus lurches forward suddenly and then stalls. A baby with a pigtail cries out in alarm. We accelerate again, far too quick, and the handful of people standing up have to grab onto the guardrails for balance. I hit the stop button and get to my feet. But we are still so far from school. It doesn't matter, I say, and a jab the button a few more times. The bus doesn't let anyone off at the next stop or the next one. We speed through the streets as passengers keep jamming on the stop button. The bell going every few seconds. People waiting at the bus stops peer at us, mystified. Lily, I don't even know if this man knows how to drive a bus. Driver, a man calls, staggering their way down the aisle. To knock on the glass window. He starts staring at him, and all I can see is the top of the driver's head through the mirrors that sit above the kiosk. There is only one person on the bus who seems unconfused by this flurry of activity, and it's Frog Eyes, sitting perfectly still in his grey flannel shirt. After a few moments of arguing, the driver slows to a stop and the doors pull open. There's a rush of passengers struggling to get off, and somehow Lily and I find ourselves at the back of the queue. Finally, when everyone else has stepped into the street, a strange tingling sensation starts curling its way around my elbow and knees. My shoulder blades pressed together, my back muscles sinking towards one another like an accordion. Lily, I whimper, my voice small. Lily! My eyes dart to the mirror again, where the driver is now staring at me, his gaze resting easily on my discomfort. He has put some kind of a spell or enchantment on me, and now I can't move. I try to fight my power against his. I try to see his light, try to summon my sensitivity, but it seems to be missing. My mind is utterly blank, my body constricted and strange. The bus drives on. The bus drives on. Lily, Frog Eyes, and I are the only three people on it. Frog Eyes begins to walk towards us, holding onto the top of each headrest to keep his balance. He sits on one of the flip-down chairs, his body angled towards us. Hello, girls, he says at last. I cannot move or speak. The only parts of my body working properly are my brain and my eyes, so I absorb as much information about Frog Eyes as I can. Maybe this is why I notice that he's wearing something under his grey shirt, something that looks curious, like a wetsuit. But hardier, I follow my gaze down his arms and notice that it covers his whole body, gloving both hands. How are you today, Miss O'Connellan? O'Callaghan. I peer harder. He's not so interested in me anyway. A neutralized threat. I realize then that he is not wearing a wetsuit. He is wearing rubber. Go on, he says, and he places his gloved hand on her knee. You'll be fine. You'll find I'm not so easy to shock. I remember the hotel and wonder if this is the punishment. There was a party, do you remember? And they crashed the party. For that, how, when Lily and I worked together, we could burst light fixtures halfway across a ballroom. Lily looks at the gloved hand and seems to immediately calculate what it means. This person has made an estimation of Lily's powers and seems pleased about it, but he has not made estimations about her character. And at the end of the day, it is who Lily is and not what she is that makes her special. Her blue eyes widen, and despite my lack of power, I can tell that he thinks he has frightened her. Lily lifts her hands and lays them on his chest, crossed like she might be about to give him CPR. He smiles mildly, as if he expects this and has done drills for it at home. Instead, she uses the full force of her body to slam into his chest and pounces, like a cat, on top of him. He is suddenly sprawled on the floor of the bus, but there is no hope for Lily in a fist fight. All she had was the element of surprise. His arm starts to flail at her, like swinging, I suppose, but Lily holds firm on top of him. Then, without appearing to think about it, she bites down hard on his neck. I don't need to see what she's doing to know that she has broken the skin. The bright blue voltage of her power coursing into his bloodstream, his fingers tweaking in shock. Is he dead? Do you care? She gets off him, and there's a moment when we lock eyes and seem to both understand the enormity of what she has done. This is not a couple of light fixtures and some copper pipes in a hotel. This is not a magpie. Incidentally, do you remember the magpie? Accidentally caught in the crossfire. This is violence. This is hurting people. Lily spits on the floor of the bus, her saliva pink with his blood. His arms start to move, not dead, just stunned. The bus jutters forward again, the driver accelerating and braking, trying to frighten us, to hurt us, to get us back. We are still stuck here, even if Frog Ice is on the ground. Can you move? My bones still feel pressed together, my elbow glued to the top of my hips. I try to shake my head, my jaw feeling wired shut. I manage a stiff no. Okay, she says, and grabs onto the yellow guardrail. A white fold of electricity blasts the red button off the rail, leaving a nest of smoke behind it. I hear a faint series of pop sounds and realize that every other stop button has suddenly burst away from its setting. Up and down the bus, the rails all have holes, little yellow mounds of missing teeth. Each bell starts dingling to its own rhythm. Ding, 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 ding. And then quickly they run out of juice. The ding-dings get louder and longer and slurrier. Dring, dring, dring. The smoke alarm soon joins them, high and shrill, the alto to their soprano. The driver does not change his behavior, presumably because all of his energy is focused on keeping the spell in place. His hands are still firmly on the wheel. Lily loops an arm under my shoulders, knitting herself into me, and drags me to the middle exit doors. Hold on, she whispers. I think I have an idea. She unzips her bag and digs around in it, finally producing her lunch. Jesus Christ, she mumbles, fixing her hands around her apple. Well, at that, Lily hurls the apple directly at the windscreen, right into the driver's view. Finally, something seems to startle him. He brakes suddenly, and there's the familiar hissing sound coming from the belly of the bus. She crouches down, and as the burst of air rushes towards her, her fingers splay out. A spark forms underneath her palm, reacting to the compressed air, and Lily starts to talk to it. Come on, she urges, her voice barely audible above the continuing ding. Come on. The sparks has gathered and is now the size of a chicken's egg. The hissing sounds have stopped. Now Lily says, and I can't tell if it's to herself or me. With that, she hurls the egg-shaped ball of lightning at the middle of the exit, blowing it open. We are hurled onto the footpath, falling to our knees, the hot rubber sealant from the door edged, burning our skin. We lie there a moment, watching the bus move away, apparently undisturbed by the smouldering stop buttons, the fire alarm, or the exploding side. It trundles off into the distance, injured and heavy, not remotely perturbed by our existence. My shoulders begin to ease, and I start to feel the spell release itself as the bus disappears from view. No one stops to look at the bus or ask if we are okay, or observe the discarded door on the footpath. Commuters just talk on, skipping over the debris their expressions curiously blank. Are you okay? Lily asks, brushing herself off. It's good that buses have that weird glass that doesn't shatter, or else it could have gone into our eyes. I don't. I'm trying to figure out my words again, trying to realign myself with the world. Lily just saved us. She saved me. What was that? Where was he taking us? I roll my tongue. Hold on, guys. I roll my tongue over my teeth, and the taste of pennies rotten in my mouth. That's the copper taste again. It was him or me, wasn't it? Lily says. And for the first time since she's come back from the river, there's a tinge of uncertainty in her voice. Yeah, I say, feeling my back muscles come alive again. It was him or you. A car beeps at us, and it occurs to me what we must look like. Two girls lying on a footpath, surrounded by discarded remains of a bus door. How did you know what to do? I saw. I say, gingerly getting off the ground. Sorry, guys. She reaches a hand out and pulls me up. You were so in control. I started gingerly patting my hair, feeling static strands sticking to my fingers. Your hair looks wild, she says, confirming my suspicion. Do you want me to fix it? I nod, and we find a wall to sit on. Lily starts tightly plaiting my hair, a maniac of her long fringe braid. The skin of my temples starts to go taut with the strain. Oh, be careful, sorry. She eases the pressure, if only slightly. She finished wrapping the elastic band around the end of my braid. What do you think their plan was? I don't know. To take us somewhere? To kill us? I rubbed my palms over my eyes, my skin still tight from the spell. What do you want? Lily shrugs, and in the absence of better ideas, we walk the rest of the way to school. And that was chapter 18. Woo, magic. Okay, well, it's scary, but I like it. I hope you do too. Thank you for joining me again, and I'll be going on to the next chapter. So take care. Bye bye.